What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. So today we're talking about the meta game right now as we are going into this weekend, which is Toronto Regionals, a big tournament coming up in Canada. I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top and win. So yeah, we're going to break this down kind of really quickly, but I think it's interesting to note because the meta is actually in a really good spot right now. A lot of people are complaining because there's not a BDIF, quote unquote, but I think that's what makes the game so much fun right now. Every deck does have a chance to win, and we'll see that as we break down these past three regionals. So we have Peoria, we have Sacramento, we have Lille. All right, three big regionals: 1,700, 1,400, and 855, which is still pretty big over there in France, right? 855, like. Back when I started playing, there was like 200 Masters. Less than that, probably. So yeah, it's cool to see this. We look at Peoria. We look at top decks. We know Sableye won. Sableye got second. We got Mew, Miraidon, Lost Box, Gardevoir, and Chin Pao. Now, I think the Miraidon effect, as we call it, is because we're close to Ohio. And I think the better Ohio Miraidon players made top 8 with it, right? And we see that big thing there. We see Lost Zone getting first, second. We see Mew getting third. Pretty good, right? So these are the things, right? We got Sableye, Mew, Sableye, Gardevoir, Chin Pao, and Chin Pao make a top 8, right? So then we look at Sacramento. We head down to Sacramento, and the metagame shifts drastically. The first thing we notice is there's Lugia. Lugia is a Lugia city. Now, this could be because there's less Miraidon players in the area. Once again, I think the Ohio players, the Ohio crew, is known to play Miraidon, and I don't think a lot of them came out to Sacramento, which is maybe why the increase of Lugia. But I think it also has to deal with Lost Box. Lost Box did see a huge increase from before. We know it won first and second place, and I think Colorless Lugia has a great shot against that. We actually talked about it in the video. I'm like, I think Lugia is going to win, and it did win, right? So that's pretty cool to see. We also saw second place RCS Gyarados deck, Gyarados VMAX, getting second place, doing its thing, right? So that's pretty cool. We saw the Lugia, RCS, but still we're pretty consistent, right? We got the Lost Box, we got the Sableye, right? We got no, not Sableye, sorry. We got the Lost Box and we got the Gardevoir, right? Pretty standard decks, but Lugia has not taken the place of the Miraidon, right? It's pretty much the Lugias are gone, Miraidons are in, and they have one RCS instead of the Mew, right? So we know that happened. So now we see an increase of Lugia and Arceus, and then we go into Lille, and Lille, we see Mew taking down the competition. Very, very different metagame again. We got the Fusion Mew get first place. And not only that, this Mew player had to play against, I'm pretty sure, like Spiritomb decks, had to play against Drapion decks, and still was able to take down the competition. Second place was Lost Box. We do have another Lost Box right here. We have another Mew deck, so an increase of Mew, while our random decks are going to be the Goodra. We still have Gardevoir and Lost Box, of course. So it seems like if you are going this weekend, right, there's one thing that's pretty consistent, and that is Lost Box. I think if you are going to Toronto this weekend, I think Lost Box is never a bad play, especially with the decrease of Lugia. I imagine we'll see more Miraidon players, right? We are getting to the area that is closer to Ohio. We're going more of that kind of area, so I imagine there will be an increase of Miraidon, but I also think there will be an increase of Mew. Mew gets first and sixth place, as well as ninth. So did have three really good placements this past weekend. Like I said, take it on the competition. Take it down the decks that are supposed to beat it. Taking out the Drapion, taking out the Spiritomb, saying, hey, I don't really care about these matchups. We're just going to beat them. And that's what we saw this weekend with Const, right? Taking out these matchups, doing fantastic. So, and I think that this deck still struggles with Lost Box, even though it did beat Arthur in the finals. But I think Arthur was playing the Spiritomb version, which I think Spiritomb is great, but I think Drapion, it might be the better answer for Mew if you are trying to counter Mew, but Arthur might have been trying to counter the Lugia decks. It just so happened that it is good against Mew. It just so happened that Const was playing the Fusion Mew and not the DTE Mew. Because if it was DTE Mew, it might be a totally different game. They can still just boss it up and knock it out. That's usually my case. If you play like a ton of force, you can just knock out the Spiritomb. And especially with the DTE version, you could play the Lost City, and that could Lost Zone the Spear Tomb, so they can't get it back. So that is a thing that you could see. One thing that we didn't notice, or that we didn't see at all, really in top 8, is Charizard. Now, I don't think this is Pedro playing the PGR version, but outside of that, we don't see a Charizard really that close. Like, look, top 16, no Charizard. No, there's no Charizard. Peoria, there's one Charizard, two Charizard. Oh, there's actually 3 Charizards in here. This is a different Charizard, of course. It's a Lost Box Charizard build. So maybe Charizard could make a comeback. I think the problem with Charizard is, like, you lose too heavily to the Path to the Peak decks. And a lot of decks are playing Path to the Peak now. They come here just so many things. And, like, Charizard is one of the ones that get hit with it. I think if you are going to play the Path to the Peak, or if you are playing Charizard, is this the build? No, this is the Pidgey build. This is the Pidgeot build. So it's not the build I was looking for. There was a Charizard list that played Bieber. It might have been Oscar that played it, but I don't remember where I saw this at. But this is the Charizard build. One grammar because of the Color's Experiment eventually putting 4 cards in the Lost Zone. Okay, we're spicy. We're getting there. But also playing Path Peak themselves to counter the metagame. Pretty interesting, right? Not only, you're trying to counter the metagame, well, I think, Shin Pao, we see it's kind of creeping up there, but hasn't won a tournament. I think Shin Pao is good. I think it's the super duper gamble play, right? I think it is a good deck, but it's so gamble, what you can hit with your Pokestops. Are you going to draw to the right cards? Are they going to boss your back to Caliber and you can't send another one up? I think Gujar's another kind of interesting deck. Like, you hit the really good matchups, you're going to do really well. But if you hit the bad matchups, you're going to do really bad. And we'll go over here, Pokestats, like always. Pokestats, best place to be. If you're going this weekend, download Pokestats. Can't say it enough. They do fantastic things. We actually see the Mew deck with the played against. And also, all the deck lists are up from day 2 from Lil. So we have a lot of information going into here. We see that Lily lost to Lost Box Giratina, lost to Arceus, lost to Arceus Duraludon, and Lugia. Arceus Duraludon is always a deck that I'm like, can this be the tournament? It does well. Because I think it does have really good matchups. Like Duraludon not only does block special synergies, it's just like a tank. It's a tanky guy. It's a tanky dude. I'm trying to see what else we want to see here. Charizard lost to Tide Control, lost to Guardia, unfortunately. Tide Charizard lost to Chien-Pao, which I think is probably its worst matchup, right? I wanted to check one matchup, but I don't remember what it was right now. I was like, what matchup do I wanted to check? And now I can't think what it was. What did Gujar lose to? Gujar lost to Fuji Mew, which makes sense. You have unlimited damage, you're very fast, very quick. You just take huge knockout so quickly. Fabian lost to Excalibur twice in a row. Also Owen back to back. Wow. Owen showing hey, I can beat this deck. What did Owen lose to? That's what an interesting thing. Lost to Lost Box Giratina, lost to Maridon, but beat 2 Maridons and lost one. That's unfortunate. I think that probably is a good matchup. Maybe? Is it a good matchup? How does that work out? I don't know. Was there any Maridon at all in day 2? Can we filter this from Maridon? Control, sure. Maridon EX. There we go. Highest Maridon was 35th, losing to Mew. And I think Mew is a bad matchup, which it kind of scares me if you are playing Maridon this weekend. I think you should maybe take a JP on there. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm really bad with Maridon. I think Maridon's still a meh deck. I don't think it's that good, if I'm being honest. We see, and I didn't say about Lugia. We do have 3 single strikes that did well this weekend. Everybody else is the colors build that we've seen. What else we got? We got Mew VMAX, just 1, 6, 9, 17, 20, 40, 30. I think it's just Tommy Latella was here. Oh, look at that. Tommy. Oh, went 6 and 3. No, buddy. Oh, man. Tommy, look at there. Good friend. Unfortunately missing it. So, yeah, what's the play this weekend? Well, my heart should say, just play Lost Box. It's not a bad bet. It's not a bad gamble. It just has been doing well every weekend, right? Some kind of form of Lost Box. I think you would have played the Lost Box that could beat Mew, because I think Mew will see maybe an uptick, right? Maybe. I think when people see a deck do well, especially when there's Mew, they're like, okay, Mew. But then people are scared because people put Drapion. But once again, like I said, constantly saying, hey, I don't care what matchups you're playing. I could take it down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend. The metagame, I think, is a really good spot. Like I said, you can see every single week it has been different, except the only like real kind of same was like one Gardevoir has made cut, as well as like 2 to 3 Lost Bucks I said made cut, right? So this is 3 Lost Bucks. I think it's 3 Lost Bucks I've made cut every single time. 1, 2, man, as soon as I say that, I only found 2 in this one. There's 2 there. So it's still 2 there, and this one's 1, 2, 3. So at least 3, like I said, at least one Gardevoir has made cut every single time. Gardevoir there, and Gardevoir there. So one Gardevoir player is going to make cut again. Like 2 to 3 Lost Bucks are going to be cut. Your most playing deck, which converts really well as well too. And then the other 5 spots are like kind of random. So good luck this weekend. Let me know what you're playing. If you want to, leak it. Tell me the goods. Tell me what you want to play. If I was going this weekend, I don't know. I kind of play Charizard just because I haven't played Charizard as much, and it seems fun. But I'd probably still play just like Lugia. I still think Single Strike is like a good spot. I think the Single Strike build has a better answer to Mew. So it might be the change I'd make if I was playing Lugia this week. I'd play the Single Strike version. I think you also have a better Lugia mirror match, and I think you also have a better Miraidon matchup. Now your Lost Bucks matchup is quote unquote a little worse, which I think is it's a lie. I think your Lost Bucks matchup is still fine. I think people are crazy. Your Charizard matchup is terrible both ways. I think Single Strike is like the better build. To be honest, just bias. All right, but anyways, guys, good luck this weekend. Let me know what you're gonna play, and yeah, good luck. Alrighty, bye.